Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm in a town called Luella, Texas. This is like an hour and a half north of Dallas. And I once again found an incredibly crazy case. I mean, again, I tend to find bizarre cases sort of on purpose, sort of on accident. I like to try to find unique cases and ones that haven't been done before, or ones that haven't been done as often. I'm here at the Luella Cemetery. Again, it's a very small cemetery in a very small town, but I'm gonna visit the graves of the victims. I'm gonna walk around here, tell you guys the story. Before we get into the actual events of this case, just wanted to give some background on who Andre Thomas was growing up and kind of the events that led up to the murders themselves. So I want to make sure I gave you guys a little bit more background. Now, Andre Thomas was born March 17th, 1983 in Oklahoma. He had 5 brothers and was raised mostly by his mother while they lived in Sherman, Texas. His mom was described as an alcoholic, had pretty bad depression, and had been sexually abused. They often had no running water, heat, or electricity in their house. Andre seemed to be thriving for the first few years of his life. He attended a church in Sherman, Texas, and a Sunday school teacher described Andre as a smart and respectful young boy who often was just a curious kid. All that changed when Andre turned 10 years old. His behavior changed dramatically, and many of his schoolmates had heard Andre telling them that he had heard angels and demons arguing in his head. And at one point, he said that he was someone called Raiden, which was a fictional character on the video game Mortal Kombat. Andre started drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana around the age of 12 at an attempt to stop the voices that he was hearing in his head. At the age of 13, he had made 2 attempts to kill himself, and at the age of 15, he had already been arrested many times, including once for stealing a car. Andre had started dating a young woman named Laura Boren, who also was born in 1983, and Laura became pregnant at the age of 16 and gave birth to their baby in August of 1999. They named the baby Andre Jr. At this point, Andre dropped out of school and earned his high school equivalency diploma and worked several jobs so that he could support Laura and their newborn baby. He ended up marrying Laura on his 18th birthday in 2001 while she was 17. However, their marriage did not last very long. They ended up separating about 4 months or so after being married, and soon after that, Laura moved in with a new boyfriend, and she had a child with that new boyfriend in 2003. Once their marriage was broken up officially, Andre experienced more and more intense delusions and even more thoughts to kill himself. Now, at this point, Andre was living on his own, but had trouble trying to pay for rent and all the utilities. And because his mental health was deteriorating, Laura made sure that she limited contact between Andre and his son. This, of course, made things a lot worse, as Thomas then began believing that his estranged wife was Jezebel and that his son was the Antichrist. Andre then started believing that the meaning of life was contained in a message on the dollar bill, and he often would cover his mouth with duct tape and refuse to speak to his family. In 2004, Andre started struggling more with alcohol abuse as well as his mental health, psychological issues, and started also engaging in taking quercetin, which is kind of like a cold medicine, On March 5th, a friend escorted him to a mental health clinic where Andre told the staff that he would step in front of a bus if he wasn't able to speak to someone. About 3 weeks later, he ended up stabbing himself in the chest and went to the emergency room. And he told the hospital staff that he was trying to cross over into heaven. Of course, at this point, the emergency staff tried to arrange for him to be committed to a psychiatric facility. However, Andre ended up walking out of the hospital, and so they weren't able to actually get him into any kind of treatment. Now, the murders. On March 27th, 2004, 2 days after coming home from the emergency room, Andre went to Laura's third-floor apartment and kicked the door open. Laura's boyfriend was at work. However, she was home with the 2 kids. Again, one of them being Andre Jr. He ended up fatally stabbing her, cutting open her chest, and pulling out a portion of her lung. He then went to the bedroom, which had his own son, Andre Jr., and then Laura's other kid, 13-month-old daughter. He ended up fatally stabbing both of the children and cutting out their hearts. After he killed Laura and the kids, he stabbed himself 3 times in the chest, expecting to, of course, die. When he realized that he wasn't dying, he placed many of the victim's organs in his pockets and walked to his own house. Now, there is a actual voicemail from Andre where he called Laura's parents. It's pretty interesting, so I'm just going to read what he said. He said, "Sherry, this is Andre. I need y'all's help. Something bad is happening to me, and it keeps happening, and I don't know what's going on. I need some help. I think I'm in hell. I need help. Someone needs to come and help me. I need help bad. I'm desperate. I'm afraid to go to sleep. So when you get this message, come by the house, okay?" That is word for word what he said in the voicemail. Andre turned himself in to the Sherman Police Department, telling officers that he thought God wanted him to kill the victims, and he said that he killed each victim with a separate knife, as he thought that there were demons inside the victims. 5 days after the murders, Thomas was, of course, in jail awaiting trial. He ended up removing his right eye with his bare hands. Apparently, he had been reading the Bible and came across one of the verses in Matthew, which said, "If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out." So I guess he took that verse literally. Now, Andre ended up being declared incompetent to stand trial, and he was sent to the North Texas State Hospital in mid-June of 2004. After he spent about 47 days there in the hospital, the psychiatrist wrote to the court that Andre had drug-induced psychosis, saying that he was competent and that he might attempt to exaggerate his mental illness by engaging in self-harm. So on February 15th, 2005, his murder trial ended up beginning. Now, for whatever reason, he was only tried for the death of Laura's daughter. Now, as you can imagine, his defense attorneys attempted to make sure that he got an insanity defense. The prosecution did not buy that, and they ended up convicting him of capital murder and giving him a death sentence. Now, about 4 years into his prison stay, on December 9th, 2008, Andre ended up removing his other eye and ate it. Andre said that he ingested his other eye to prevent the U.S. federal government from reading his thoughts. He was then treated at a hospital and transferred to another unit which houses the mental health prisoners. Andre is scheduled for execution not that far from now. The scheduled execution is for April 5th of this year, 2023. Anyway, guys, it is hot here in Texas. I have like maybe one more case to film here, and then I am flying out of here tonight. So we'll see you guys soon on the next video. As always, my name's Harmon. Thanks for watching.